Hello, this is Pastor Russ, and it's now time for our weekly mini Bible study, a study of Scripture in 10 minutes or less. Today we are studying the book of Genesis. We're in chapter 40 of Genesis, which I entitled Dream a Little Dream. Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Russ, and we're going to be reading a continuation of the story of Joseph. If you remember last week, Joseph at age 17 was sold to a Egyptian officer by the name of Potiphar. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce Joseph, was unsuccessful, and then she actually accused him of trying to seduce and rape her. So Joseph has been thrown in jail. He's been in jail now for a while, and he's going to meet two other characters while he's in jail. One is a cupbearer for the Pharaoh. That's a person who was like the head of the household that would actually take his cup and taste the wine before the Pharaoh would drink the wine, make sure that it didn't have any poison in it and it was good. And the other was a baker that baked things for the Pharaoh. Starting with verse 1 of chapter 40. Sometime later, we don't know how many years, but sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard in the same prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. You see, Joseph was good at administration and leadership, and so he was put in charge of things in the prison. And the captain of the guard said, Joseph, you take care of this cupbearer and this baker. After they had been in custody for some time, each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were being held in prison, had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody with him in his master's house, Why are your faces so sad today? We both had dreams, they answered, but there was no one to interpret them. Then Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams. Now, here we see the growth already of Joseph. Whereas when he was young and had his own dreams, he interpreted them his own way. He didn't ask for God to interpret them, but here he's saying that really only God can interpret dreams, but tell them to me, and God through me will interpret the dreams. So, verse 9. So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream. He said, In my dream, I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine were three branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them into the Pharaoh's cup, and put the cup in his hand. This is what it means, Joseph said to him. The three branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to the Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. For I was forcibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon. When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given a favorable interpretation, he said to Joseph, I too had a dream. On my head were three baskets of bread. In the top basket were all kinds of baked goods for the Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head. This is what it means, Joseph said. The three baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, the Pharaoh will lift off your head and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat away your flesh. Now, the third day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. He lifted up the heads of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker in the presence of his officials. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position so that he once again put the cup in Pharaoh's hand. but he hanged the chief baker just as Joseph had said to them in his interpretation. The chief cupbearer, however, did not remember Joseph. He forgot him. And so ends chapter 40. Kind of a bittersweet tale for Joseph. He did interpret the dreams correctly. He is growing spiritually, and yet he was not remembered. So he has to stay in prison for longer. In the next chapter, though, we're going to see that even the Pharaoh has dreams that no one can interpret. So I want to encourage you, before we go tonight, to take a look at, my website. If you want to go there, just go to pastorruss.net, and there you're going to find my, recent blogs. You're going to find podcasts that I do each week that are listed there. You're going to find lots of videos, songs, all the Bible studies from Genesis. If you'd like to check out my Facebook page. Just check that out. It's called Through the Fire with Pastor Russ. And there you're going to find, daily things like this Bible study that we do. You're going to be reading devotions of the week. I'll be doing hymn stories for you, posting my blogs, not my blogs, but my podcasts. And so lots of wonderful things there for you. So I encourage you to do that. So until next time, this is Pastor Russ here. And I just want to say thank you and so long to you, and may God bless you. This is Pastor Russ saying, God bless.